Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Thrive in 5 podcast. And I want to begin today's episode with a bit of a deep breath and a check-in and make sure that everyone's okay, because I don't know about you, but life right now feels like a lot. It feels like everything is very heavy and very stressful and very heightened. The world is a bit chaotic, and I know a lot of people, I know from talking to friends and family and clients within the TFP, that a lot of us are feeling a little bit like it's just a lot right now. And I want to talk about that. And I want to this week, over the next couple of episodes, kind of give you a bit of a deep dive on handling the stress that's there right now. Because we are all carrying so much right now. Everything feels very heavy. The news is bleak and uncertain, and you always know it's bad. This is always my indicator that something's bad when you open BBC News and there is a live update feed for something. And it's never a live update feed for like them rescuing a cat from up a tree. That would be great. It's always a live update feed for some numpty crashing the economy, or for some war or awful human disaster. And it's a lot to have to process. You're trying to deal with all that, all this stuff that's happening miles away, but it's impacting you almost directly because it's in your phones and it's affecting everything in your lives. And then you're trying to work, and that's full on and stressful. And then you're trying to juggle everything else at home and, not letting all that stuff get to you. And it can be a lot. And the other thing that I think is always really interesting is that even when things look fine on paper, even when actually you can sit there and rationalize and go, no, we're okay. Like, yes, this is stressful, but it's fine. It can still feel like chaos in your head. It can still feel like you are juggling 1,000 things. And the first thing that I want to make clear is struggling with this sort of stuff, finding life stressful, doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Being a professional woman is fucking hard. It is really difficult to work as hard as you do, to work the hours that you do, to carry your work around in your pocket in your phone, which, let's be honest, all of us do, and to then have to try and be a grown-up, live your life, do all these things. It's really, really difficult. Occasionally I talk to people and they'll kind of make this comment like, stress isn't a real thing. Like being stressed is just a feeling. Yes, it's a feeling and it's real. It is not in your head. It's not something you can just do a few deep breaths and get over. When you feel stressed, your body is sensing a threat. Even if the threat is like a packed calendar or a passive aggressive email or a BBC News alert. Our body and our brain don't know the difference between an email that's come through that's a little bit challenging and being chased by a lion. Our brains have not evolved beyond being people on the savannah fighting for our lives. And the fact is, you can't always control the thing that causes you stress. The way that I always think about stress, the framework that we use within the TFP, is that you can't control the stressor. You can't control how busy work is. You can't control what's going on in the news. You can't control the fact the weather's going to be crap this week. I'm a bit annoyed about that, to be honest. But you can control how you respond to the thing that stresses you out. You can control what happens when that stress hits you. Learning to do that is a challenge, and that's what we're going to talk about over the next couple of episodes. But you can control it, because what I'm not saying, and I never want to say, and I had a coach say this to me once and it stressed me out, do not just push through and act like stress doesn't affect you. I had a coach who used to say, game face. And I'd be like, but I'm stressed. Like, you can tell me just to crack on, but bottling up this stress causes it to pop up somewhere else. It's like a pressure cooker. If I bottle this down and don't find a different way to deal with it, I'm going to end up just eating my feelings. But I'm also not saying that you need to be a victim to your stress. I remember once when I was in my corporate job, we had a real problem with the lady in our team who went off on who kept on going off with for stress leave. She was working a job that was like a high intensity job, don't get me wrong, but she kept on going off for stress leave because she didn't have the tools to process her stress. And actually, she needed a lot of support because she just couldn't handle getting an email. Would be far too stressful for her to deal with, and it probably wasn't the right role for her. You don't have to be a victim to your stress. You can learn to process it differently. It's about recognizing that, yeah, things are hard right now. Yes, you feel the weight of it. Yes, every time you check the news, it feels like you maybe want to just silently throw up. But you're not broken or failing for feeling those things. And you're not stuck. There are things that you can do to help. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about over this next week. What most people do, and it's something that I see in my coaching all the time, and it's probably actually where this lady that I used to work with, probably where she was at. we wait to hit a wall before we respond to stress. We power through, we tick the boxes, we put on brave faces. We keep going until we burn out. And I have a very strong belief that a lot of this comes down to being women and feeling like we have something to prove beyond men. I think there's a very much and I definitely saw this when I was in the corporate world, and I definitely see it in my coaching career. As women, we have a real fear that we struggle with imposter syndrome more than men. That's scientific fact. We often have a confidence gap in that we don't feel like we're as qualified as men to do the jobs that we're doing. And so we will often show up and push through when we probably shouldn't. So many women will push through, will tick the boxes, will keep going until they hit burnout. And the problem is, at that point, it is so much harder to recover. So what I want to do over the next couple of episodes is give you a different way of thinking about this, help you to start recognizing your stress sooner, help you to learn what actually makes you feel more grounded before things hit that boiling point, and to help you build those things into your day, into your week, into your life in a way that doesn't feel like another chore, another thing just to add to your stress levels. Today, I'm not going to ask you to overhaul anything because that's not my vibe. What I'm asking you to do is just to acknowledge it. Acknowledge that, yeah, life's a lot right now. Life is stressful. And acknowledge that you get to do something about it, because you do. And I'm going to be here over the next couple of episodes helping you to figure that out. Today's episode was a short-ish one, not actually that short, but hopefully one that was grounding and gave you a little bit of reassurance. Tomorrow, I'm going to share a personal story from one of the most stressful periods of my life, the pandemic. Wasn't that stressful for everyone? I think it was. I think I'm now ready 5 years on to talk about this. I'm going to talk a little bit about my own personal story with stress and how burnout manifested for me. It's a big reminder that actually my big struggle was that knowledge doesn't mean less stress. So little teaser there. If you're not already subscribed to the podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. And if this episode gave you just a little bit of respite, do send it to someone who you think might need to hear it too. If you've got a friend or a colleague who you think is looking in a little bit of a tiz, this might be for them. And if that's you, hi. Because you're not stuck, you are not broken. You do have the ability to feel better, even if the world is in chaos right now. And it's always in chaos, isn't it? I will speak to you tomorrow.